This is case number 15 on your list, your worships. Jermaine Selkirk, charged with criminal damage to a bus window. Mr Selkirk is represented by Mr Aston. Mr Selkirk, would you stand, please? Can you identify yourselves to the court, please, giving your full name, address and date of birth?
It's Jermaine Gareth Selkirk. I live at 12 Dale Street, Lewisham, and my date of birth is the 14th of December, 83.
Thank you. Mr Aston, can we take a plea from your client today?
Your worships, perhaps my client could be seated as I wish to make an application.
Oh, sit down, Mr Selkirk.
As I say, it is my application to adjourn this matter for 2 weeks so that my client's legal aid application can be processed.
Well, Mr Aston, presumably you're well aware of the need to take a plea at the first hearing. Lord Justice Leveson's guidance from 2009 says, at every hearing, however early, unless it's been done already, the court must take the defendant's plea. This obligation does not depend on the extent of advance information, service of evidence, disclosure of unused material, or the grant of legal aid.
Your worships, my client is unsure as to his plea, and I am unable to take full instructions until such time as legal aid is granted. My client is a self-employed window cleaner and hasn't worked much in the last few months. My client contacted my firm within 3 days of being charged, and an application was submitted almost immediately thereafter. But because of his employment status, the application cannot be dealt with at this court and has had to be sent off to a central office who, experience tells me, cannot deal with this matter within 5 working days.
Mr Senior, what's the position about this sort of legal aid application?
I'm afraid Mr Aston is correct. However, I would advise you to consider taking a plea today for the reasons you previously outlined, Mum.
Mr Aston, we're satisfied that a plea must be taken today.
Madam, I would ask you and your colleagues to reconsider. My client is entitled to be legally represented, and if you insist upon a plea being taken today, it's highly likely that Mr Selkirk will feel obliged to plead not guilty.
Well, we appreciate your difficulties, but we must insist on a plea being taken. We are quite satisfied that the defendant's interests can be properly protected by court procedures, regardless of whether he pleads guilty or not guilty today. Insisting on a plea today in no way compromises the need to deal with the defendant fairly, as required by the criminal procedure rules.
Reluctantly, I will withdraw at this stage.
Mr Selkirk, would you stand, please, and listen to our legal adviser?
Mr Selkirk, you are charged that on the 1st of April 2011 at Lewisham bus station, without lawful excuse, you damaged the windscreen of a bus belonging to the London Transport Executive, intending to damage that property or being reckless as to whether that property would be damaged. Do you plead guilty or not guilty?